What's good, y'all? It's your boy Mixtape Moth. So, know I'm a little late, but I wanted to weigh in on the Billboard and Vibes 50 greatest rapper list that has been infuriating a lot of hip hop fans and some rappers who were left off the list. Personally, for me, I've never had high expectations for Billboard or Rolling Stones to compile hip hop lists. I just never expect them to get it right. I just know going into them that there will be flaws and the order won't make much sense. And I came to this realization a while back that these publications are approaching these lists with a completely different lens than a lot of hip hop heads. They have a different set of criteria for these lists. They focus more on sales, how singles and albums are charted, the overall artist's reach, their impact, and the artist's overall discography. Now, most hip hop heads that I know don't give a damn about sales or how singles charted. However, we do care about things like the artist's impact and the artist's catalog, so I definitely understand having those two things as gauges. Billboard clearly doesn't base these lists off pure rapping ability or even on how much an artist is respected in the culture. That's why I really don't trip when I don't see names like Ransom, Royce da 5'9", or Pharoah Monch on these lists. But getting right into the list itself, the first glaring flaw that I noticed was that there were no 80s first wave golden era MCs in the top 10. Let me rewind that. There were no 1980s first wave golden era MCs in the top 10. So if you didn't know much about hip hop, or if you were from another planet, you would think that hip hop started in 1993 or 1994 from this top 10 list, which is mind blowing and disrespectful, especially considering this list was supposedly done to honor hip hop turning 50 years old in August. You would have thought that some sane or semi-informed person in the room would have said, hey guys, shouldn't we have had someone from the 1980s in the top 10 list? Nope. Didn't happen. Rather, they don't start mentioning 80s rappers until number 13 and 14 with Rakim and LL. And I feel if any of the 80s rappers belong in this top 10, it is most certainly Rakim, especially if the focus is on impact and catalog. So as a result, I began to immediately question why Kendrick Lamar has the number 2 spot. Number 2 for Kendrick Lamar is very high, respectfully. And look, I understand that Kendrick Lamar has been very influential to this current generation. He won a Pulitzer Prize, and his discography is very strong. Even if you don't like Kendrick, you can't front on his discography. I mean, he probably should be in the top 15. But how should he be ranked 10 spots above goats like LL Cool J, Scarface, and Rakim? That will never be okay. Yeah, Kendrick also won a Grammy for his recent album, which is cool, but it sounds like Billboard are being prisoners of the moment and pandering quite a bit, because Rakim and LL Cool J have been making music that was deemed as relevant and being checked for just as long, if not longer, than Kendrick, who started in 2010 and even took 5 years off. Nicki Minaj at number 10 was high too. Now, I understand that they wanted a female MC somewhere in the top 10 to honor women's contribution in hip hop from the jump. But Nicki at 10, I don't know. Jay-Z at number 1 is kind of expected, although it definitely should have been Nas. Yeah, the other artists on the top 10, I get, when given Billboard's more mainstream criteria. I mean, it's never fun to see Drake in a top 10 list, in my opinion, even though I acknowledge his dominance. It was great, though, to see the following artists on the list: Scarface, Method Man, Black Thought, Redman, and Bun B. Now, should they be higher? Absolutely, but it is what it is considering the source. I did find the order of Melly Mel, Reverend Run, and Rick Ross to be pretty amusing, almost as if they wanted to throw in some pioneers at the last minute, and then one of the guys said, "Oh, wait guys, we can't forget Ricky Rose." Yeah, let's throw him in right after Reverend Run, because that makes perfect sense. So now let's talk about who's missing, who should have been added to the list, even given Billboard's criteria. So the first name that comes to mind is Cool G Rap, the godfather of East Coast gangster and mafioso rap. Your favorite rapper's favorite rapper has gone on record talking about how much Cool G Rap impacted them. A top 50 list without Cool G Rap is insane. How about Too Short, who is just as influential as E40? What about Jeezy? I think that's fair if you put T.I. and Gucci on the list. What about Killer Cam? If we are talking impact and influence, where's Prodigy? I'm surprised his name wasn't listed considering the props that Mobb Deep does tend to get from major publications. And also when you factor in Mobb Deep's strong consecutive album run too. Where was Lupe Fiasco? Where was 8 Ball of 8 Ball and MJG? Yeah, there were a lot of others that I could list, but they wouldn't fit the metrics that Billboard and Vibe used. But you get my point. Overall, this list was not good as I had expected. I mean, I do understand that top 50 lists are likely to have some flaws, but the main issues that I had with this particular one was the order and the fact that there were no 80s rappers in the top 10. That's just inexcusable, and it confirms that these folks didn't take the time to do the knowledge. But let me know your thoughts in the comment section. It's your boy Mixtape Moth. I'm signing out. Be sure to hit that like button and please subscribe to the channel. As always, it's peace and blessings. Billboard's top 50 rappers.